New Zealand. She lives in Australia. And I thought, I'll choose that. So I've been, asking for guidance around it. And then I've been asking before I go to sleep. I thought that would be a good idea. And some nights I'd forget. Last night was one night that I remembered. But I know that I also had a real urgency about it, because there's too much stuff that's piling up that needs to be done. And so the request was intense, focused, right? And then I got a little bit of help. It would seem.
Just a boost.
Yes.
It was interesting for me because when I was doing this, because you follow the prompts in the guiding videos and audios that they have, there was two people that came up, you instantly and my youngest son, Cameron. That's the athlete. And I thought, why Cameron, right? And anyway, so I sat there and it was like, well, you came up first. So I did you first. And then I did Cameron after that. So it'd be interesting if I hear something from him. He may not say anything because he's a guy, he's 25, right? That kind of stuff. But he just might.
Exactly. And especially if it happened in a dream, right? Because then he's got something defined.
Yeah.
What would you say for people to do that are doing this work about the 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it was?
I think it's about practicing what we practice here every morning. That would be my guidance. That's when you go into the quiet, you get little nudges, and then you go and try them out. And you just keep on doing that. And just because you have an intention, that's the word, you eventually gather enough energy to get something that is more clear. Because we often get things and we're not quite sure what they are. And this was so clear. I mean, there was no, there was no doubting it. And I think what I found really interesting for me, I mean, that repetitive dream that I had as a child, it got changed in a significant way in the dream. And because of the change that took place in the dream, I thought that the change indicated that I'd lost my power. And I know why the change happened, because there was a trauma that took place. So, as an adult, I could track it back. Like in my 20s, I realized what had happened. And then in all the work that I ever did, I never thought to go back to the dream, go back to that dream and reimagine it. That's what I could have done. If I'd reimagined it, in a hypnosis session, I would have had the same impact. So that would have been a shortcut.
But Allison, at the same time, there was not the awareness to go back into a childhood experience, be it a dream or anything.
No, I think there was in my adult years. Yeah, in my adult years, definitely there was that.
No, but just within the last 2 weeks.
Oh. I'm wondering if there was or wasn't. Even if there was, I didn't do it. But that dream was there. It was, it's been like hovering around.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't landing. So what I found really interesting is that I've always wondered about my own capacity to weave in and out, of the astral world and 3D. Like I've never doubted that is what happens, but I've always doubted my own, my own capacity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, if I think about it, I used to have those dreams. They started when I was very little because I could see myself in the dream. So I was walking, but, holding somebody's hand to keep my balance, kind of thing. And then they changed when I was about 5. So that's a long time. I'm 60. Wow. I'm turning 65 this year. Yay! That's 60 years, of weaving in and out. And then coming back. You kind of, as T.S. Eliot said, you return to a point as if it were the very first time. You return to the same point as if it were the very first time.
The beginning.
Mm-hmm.
With a whole different perspective.
Mm.
Oh, wisdom.
Yes. Choices.
Mm. Mm. And all the significant connections that I've had in my life to facilitate this, right? And I noticed the other day that even that has also started to change, in that I've always been aware of those contributions to my life because I've been so grateful for them. But there's something different. It's almost like now when I feel myself, I feel like a conglomeration. It's like a confluence has happened between myself and all the connections that I've had that are supportive to me, that have been supportive for me, put it that way. It's not like that 24/7, but there have been times where it's been quite strong. And then I've noticed it.
So when you notice it, Alison, how do you feel? Like, do you feel empowered, or do you feel at peace, or both?
The way in which I would describe it is that I just feel a breadth as opposed to a narrowness. I mean, it sounds bizarre, but yeah, I feel this breath of expansiveness. And I'm scared of that, I realized this a while ago. I'm scared of those experiences because, especially if I have them when I'm not well, I get scared of them because I think, oh shit, what is this saying? Like the one time when I was really ill with leukemia, it was the time that I got the dragon. I couldn't walk much, but we've got a little park over the road. And I mean, I've got this beautiful backyard, but it gets very shaded and I needed sun. So I went to the park over the road and just sat on the benches. And when I walked, I noticed that I was more and more looking up to the sky. And it was like what was on the ground didn't take as much of my time. It was always looking up. And I got a bit nervous about that because I would have these very expansive experiences in looking up at the sky. And then I did a meditation course with a guy called John Pendergrast. And his course is called From the Head to the Heart. And he is such a divine man. And I'd known about him for many years. So when I saw that he had this online course, I grabbed it and I'm so glad I did. It was in one of his meditations that I got the dragon. She was in my right hand eye, the corner of my right hand eye. And she appeared 3 times before I had to say to myself, take note, you stupid. You've been given something here. Because the first 3 times I just kind of thought, oh, I've got such a vivid imagination. And so there was still that separation, right, between what I thought I am and what I thought my imagination was. My imagination was discounted. More often than not, put it that way. Whereas now, I call it, when I remember to, and that's the thing that was bothering me, was that I have a new level again of deterioration in the body that I have to cope with or work with. And it's getting a bit too much. It's improved since Christmas, definitely. But I need more. So I can't push too much. I've got to really learn to work with it. And yeah, so that was all of those things. Jessie, you asked me a question and I went on a complete ramble. But what would I say to people? Don't ever give up and use your imagination and trust it and work. Really work with it.
Versus what do you see people do with it? And I mean, or we can speculate with what the majority would do with it.
I think the majority of adults forget that they've got one.
Mm-hmm. And I believe most would ask, but they would probably only ask once and expect to fix the next day.
Yeah, I think there's that too. Very much so. Because we're so used to definition, right?
Yep. And all that does is validates that, oh, I can't do it. I'm not powerful. And we give up with it without building any tension.
That's a really good point. And the power of intention, hey, Annette? I think that's what that's the most important thing.
There's a difference between forced intention and just, I want to use the word relaxed intention, but relax isn't the right word, but it does explain it. It's the opposite. Well, it could be the opposite of forced, right?
Heinz is here.
Good morning, Alison. Good morning, Nadia. Good morning, Jessie.
Good morning.
Yay!
Hi, Heinz.
Yay. Just got back from the convention.
Oh, tell all. Share.
Yeah. Oh, I heard. First, I went to a speaker who spoke about CBD oils. A lot I didn't know, but there were a lot I didn't know. So new perspective. I actually bought some because maybe I could get a full night's sleep instead of waking 3-4 times a night. So.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Then we had a clairvoyance work group. We talked to dead people, and it's really difficult when you don't hear or see anything, but it was spot on anyway by emotional, trying to feel into what it was.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to try something new with one's energy.
Yes.
And
sorry, Hans, go.
Me and Chi was there. We went there yesterday, where I looked around just to see at the different stores. I bought a magnetic bracelet, and they did a lot of. It was really nice to tap into all that positive energy. It was way better yesterday than today, because today much more curious people actually came. You can feel there was a different frequency than yesterday. Yesterday was much more high level people. It was so comforting just walking around with those people, and people talk about how you could revitalize water. There were readings and everything, but I didn't do any readings. I wasn't interested, because it said we'll talk about the past, present, the future. I don't care about the past or the future. The present is what I am right now. So, but I really enjoyed myself. It's been a long time since I've connected with people on that level, but it's way easier to connect with high frequency people when you have them all gathered together like that. And yesterday, he had his 2 daughters with him. So,
oh, how nice!
So it's been a couple of great days.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it.
How about you? I tried to listen to the YouTube yesterday, but I felt like the voices were all wrong, then I didn't like it.
Oh dear, shame. That's a pity.
Yeah, it sounded, when I read about it, wow, you must have had a blast yesterday, I thought.
Heinz's voice is so electrified, isn't it?
Yes, it's alive and aligned.
Yes.
And
yeah, people tell me that, but I always say I just feel this is normal.
Good.
But then I see, when I get into a low frequency people, then I realize, whoa, it's not normal. It's because I've been talking only with you guys and with other groups like this, so it's way more pleasant to be with high frequency people. Way more natural.
There's a level of comfort as well, right? Because you can just be you.
Yep.
And you know that you're not judging yourself, and you're not being judged by others.
Yep. And judgment is the opposite of love, so that's for the narcissist and those to judge you. And like I say, I don't care what they're saying, because I can't change their mind. Only they can do that. They may call me weird and everything. I'll just say thank you. If you are being normal, then I'm blessed to be.
Then you're in trouble.
Any words today?
We haven't gotten to words, Heinz, because we were talking about stuff. I was rambling on. But I did think about something. Oh, okay, my word is integration. What's yours?
Vital. Or vitality. It's probably the same. It's what I got from being at at those that conversation or conference, or what I don't know what it's called when people have stores and everything. It's like, I think it's like Comic-Con. So it's a conference conference.
A conference. Yeah.
Yeah, conference. Okay.
I think mine is patience in observance.
Good
Very
ones.
nice. Very nice.
I looked at that astrology you sent me, Alison. It was a bit confusing. I thought it was not something I wanted to try to learn. I think that was probably more interesting that other people knew it.
Okay. Well, you try different ones. The reason why I like hers, look, I think whenever you start listening to most of them, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
But she really teaches very well.
And she has a really soothing voice for it.
Yes. Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah, but I like the way in which she explains the implications of the movements and the energies of the different planets.
But I think if you paid for it, it's more like a school class or something. What I figured out from reading.
Yeah, she.
No, sorry.
That's okay. She's got this online university. What I really love about her work is how she developed her business model, because she has very different tiers for people to, in terms of what they get when they join. And I wanted to buy a gift for a friend of mine once. So all I had to pay was $3 for a month. And then I bought a series of classes for her, and they were $5 a class. And those classes were really good. My friend is very knowledgeable in astrology, and she said she learned so much. She really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I really I've always liked people that do their business models in that way, to make different things affordable at different levels for people, because when you're starting out, you don't want to invest a whole lot, because you don't know enough to learn what's being offered.
It was just like the guy who did the course about CBD oils. He got into it in 2018 he had a bad back and have had it for 5-6 years or so and haven't done anything. And someone told him about it. He said, no, that's illegal and blah, blah. But that was just the program talking. He realized now that it was the best thing that ever happened to him. And he started to learn about it himself now.
Yeah.
How much the plant does for the earth. I didn't know that 1 hectare of hemp plants do 25 times as much as trees for the air, because of its fast growing, and you only need 1/4 to produce amount to produce paper and everything. And he says that's probably why it's illegal. Nobody liked it, even when Henry Ford produced a car in hemp that run on hemp oil. That was when everything became illegal.
Yeah.
So it's business model. And before 1937, when it was legal, 80% of all medicine was based on hemp.
I know. And we've got the receptors in our biology, right?
Yeah.
Which is why it makes it so effective.
It's more natural.
Yeah, but I mean, you can there are a lot of things, Heinz, that you can get natural that are not good for the body. But hemp and cannabis have got, we've got the receptors for their molecules in the gut lining. So
yeah, but unlike medicine, its oils are small enough to go through anything. Medicine are way bigger molecules. So
yeah,
80 to 90% of the medicine you take will come out in your pee and other stuff. So it has to go through the liver and everything with that. And that's not where the medicine is meant to go. So only 10% of a pill goes into your body.
Yeah, but also over time it actually damages the endothelial linings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you all had a good night's sleep?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
That's what we've been talking about. Ironic synchronicities revealing our power.
It was funny to do the clairvoyant thing because you should read somebody's aura. And for somebody who don't see or hear anything, I thought that was pretty hard, but actually the gut feeling was almost spot on.
That's good.
You just need to put the words to the emotion. It's like oranges and apples. So to start with, we were having a little trouble, but then the one who was educated in it came down and said, maybe it doesn't mean that, but that, and that was just spot on me instead. When she was the first one doing it to me. And when we talked to dead people, we hit spot on with 3 persons. We were the only 3-man group. And yeah, amazing. She channeled my wife.
Oh, and that's
really
amazing.
She saw a slender woman with lots of different dresses. She didn't really get that one, but no shoes. That's how she was known. The little girl without the shoes.
She was your barefoot soulmate.
Yeah, but like RJ told us, it's hard to be married to your soulmate. Real hard. Because when you have differences, you don't understand the other person at all. How can they be so different? And when everything else, you just need to open your mouth and the other would finish the sentence because we knew exactly how we were feeling about each other. But of course, there are ups and downs in everything. And let's just say menopause didn't agree with at all. Brought back her what's it called, youth, with abuse and everything. And I used to be able to handle it or switch time or anything, but that was a time I didn't know about exactly when she started talking about that. There was the 10 years I didn't know about, and everybody who knew about it was dead. So lots of trouble happened there. But she told me it was all right. She's where she's supposed to be. And she always said she would be better off on the other side. So, and we had a great life together. Perhaps the 2 last year wasn't as great as the other, but great life no matter how you look at it.
That's
2 years
so,
out of 6 ain't bad.
that's really precious.
Yep. Oh, the bird wants to talk with.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's been home alone more than she used to. She's always listening in on the calls, so he probably wants me to talk to her also because you left me alone. Hmm.
So, Heinz, the one thing that we were talking about was the power of intention.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's very much what you were practicing with the
Yep.
clairvoyance.
It was intuitive. Every time she said, you don't have to say to yourself, this is just my imagination or anything. Just speak what you're feeling.
Mm. In other words, don't separate yourself from your imagination.
Yep.
Mm.
There is no real separation. It's only what we create ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, that also showed up in our talking before you came.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Synchronicities.
Mm-hmm.
Separation is
Funny.
something we create ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Jesse.
No, you're fine, Heinz. It's just when we, for most people, it appears when we say, oh, my imagination or I feel this is a permission slip to, because there's a fear of being wrong.
Mm.
Mm. And who are we to say what's right and wrong? If it rests
Who
in
is in it? Yeah, it's never us. It's someone else is always saying it.
Yeah.
But that's been conditioned. So when we try something like this from our intuitive, the permission slip is, well, I think or I feel or my imagination is this, because it like you said, it's the separate, right? We're separating it.
Mm.
Rather than just going what's there and trusting it. Because it doesn't matter like how it's triggered, just that it's because we're like, as you practice it, it doesn't matter what other people say or think or feel about it. They choose to do what they want, and what they choose is just information.
One thing that really impressed me at the conference was one who had colored the jars where she put water in for different chakras, so different colors. And then she said, "Oh, it's been a while on the way because I had to work as an engineer." What? So she had all the measurements for this was actually on an engineer level. She's done it. So a lot of different people are waking up.
There's a really nice course. Well, I mean, I don't know the course, but I've heard the guy that runs the course speak a few times, and I really like him. His name is Jeffrey Allen, and he runs his course through an organization called Mind Valley. And he was an engineer. And then he started to realize that there was something else that kept on nudging him and appearing and all sorts of things. And he started to realize that he had to go and explore it more.
Mm.
And I think about my daughter who chose, I mean, she's a really gifted, fine arts artist. And she could have gotten a full scholarship for university to go and do art. And she chose rather to go and do science, which she did fairly well in, but it wasn't it's not like she was a 90% candidate, but that's what she wanted to do. And I have such admiration for her in that. And then, of course, I had all this anxiety about her leaving her art.
Mm.
So I spoke up. I said, you need it for yourself. Because her thing about it was she didn't want to be a poor artist. She grew up with poor parents and she didn't want to be a poor artist. So she did art as a second major. And she's got this richness of being able to understand the scientific process and the rigorness around that. And then also the value of self-expression.
Well, it's important to get an artist into science. Then we got some high-level people there too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because she can see something the others can't see. She's got the imagination to see taste.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was so surprised. So I'll share this, Heinz, when she came home, her first year at university, she's helping me with my plants, bringing them in for the winter. And I was saying to her, I haven't been doing enough chanting with the plants because they're not doing that well. And I could see she wanted to say something, and then, she kept quiet. And I said, what do you want to say? She said, well, I need to tell you that I've realized that there's no such thing as a soul. We don't have souls. And I said, oh, well, that's interesting. Like inside, I'm going, oh, shit. Where's this going to take her? And, now she's up north, very far north, in what we call a fly-in community. You can't get there by road. And, when I managed to be able to speak to her, every time she just says, oh, Mom, I can't see myself ever leaving here. And then I kind of knew that would happen when she said that she wanted to try it out. She'd gone as a teacher. She doesn't have a teacher's training, so they employed her as a tutor. But she's very attracted to the traditional understanding of life there.
Mm.
There's not much of it left, sadly, because it's inevitably the way of life has been influenced, as she would say, by colonization.
Yeah.
They don't even speak. Not many of them speak their own language anymore. But she definitely does. I think if I had to remind her about what she said in her first year, she'd laugh. She's definitely got that back.
I think more and more young people are drawn to nature again
Mm-hmm.
because there ain't much left of it. So it's mysterious and original.
Mm. Mm. I mean, she said that her first night there, because she's gone camping a few times, she loves that. And then one of the reasons why she loves camping is because she loves being able to see the stars at night.
Mm. Couldn't imagine not being able to see the stars. I can even see some in the middle of the city here.
No, we see very few here in Toronto. There's so much light pollution now. It's unnecessary.
The park I walk in, they have is it called observatory?
Mm.
Where there is a big one of those with the round tops on, and I think it's there must be a telescope in there because there's a lock on the door and everything, but I haven't been in and seen it. But it's on the top of the hill over the city with no lights surrounding it and everything. Oh, that's where I walk each and every day.
That would be wonderful to be able to see that at night, to be able to use it at night.
Yeah, but I think you have to order it, and to order anything in Denmark would be, well, will it be cloudy or will it not be cloudy?
Yeah.
It's hard to order a hit to Denmark. It would be like they should have somebody who run it when it's an uncloudy night, and you can look it up on the internet, and we're open today. That would be way nicer, but I don't think it's that way.
Yeah, Belgium's like that too, right? Lots and lots of cloud. I just mentioned Belgium because my brother lived there for a while. One of my brothers. I've got 3.
Yep, one who doesn't read.
Yes.
Way more interesting life himself.
Yes, that's right. The 2 of you would get on like a house on fire.
Yep.
And let's say what your words were again, please. She's still here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. The room is just moving around.
Sorry.
It was patience in observance.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for a great morning of being together.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jesse. Thank you, everybody.
Allison, Annette, Hines.
It was nice.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
You all have a blessed day.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. You guys too. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.